So, how do you juggle building an audience in different countries and different time zones? This was a question that was asked of me by Emma, one of my quiet marketing insiders. So, this one's for you, Emma, and anyone else who is wondering the same question. So, my two main audiences are Australia and Europe. I'm also building a US slash Canada audience, and I have had a stronger audience in that area in the past. But there have been a few challenges with that. So, you know, when I'm working with the Australian and Europeans, time-wise, it kind of works out reasonably well. It's like my morning is depending on what time of year, but at the moment, my sessions are from, let's say 5 p.m. Sydney time through to maybe 8 p.m., something like that. So it's not too late. And then, in Europe, it's just totally fine because I'm in Europe at the moment. But for me to be servicing a US audience, it means that I need to have sessions open in the afternoons when I really want to be logging off. So at the moment, I have a couple of sessions open, but my latest is, I think it's like 5 p.m. So I have made a choice to prioritize my well-being over anything else. So I won't have sessions later than that. And I also won't have sessions earlier than 9 a.m. Now, I haven't always been putting my well-being first. Sometimes I have, got caught into the trap of, I really need to make myself more available. So I've opened up sessions at 7 a.m. in the morning for me, so that I could, be of service and that kind of thing. And really, I just didn't like it. I got out of bed just sort of grumpy. Like I like to start the day slowly. So, I had to just scratch it. And sometimes it's a matter of remembering and forgetting, because I've done this a few times, right? If you ever see me open up sessions really early, please smack me on the hand. So yeah, that can be a thing. Just standing your ground or prioritizing yourself, I think, is the first thing, prioritizing your own well-being. And, sometimes when we start off in business, we're also making ourselves available on the weekend and all of that kind of stuff, regardless of time zone. So if you're doing that to sort of because you're concerned that people won't book with you, then that's the wrong reason. Some people do want to work on Saturdays because their lifestyle, that it just works better that way, which is cool. But I guess the other thing I just sort of want to touch on as an example, so really my Australian and European audience chugging along. But, I have this tricky thing with the US audience where people are like, I want to, join your group thing. And then it's like, but then they don't. And then I open something up and go, because I have all these people asking, and then nothing happens. And that's just happened recently. It's like, I want to join the Business Sanctuary. And then I'm like, okay, I'm starting a new thing. And then those people, I don't know, forget or something. But it's really just evidence that I don't have enough fertile soil in that particular audience. So it's like my group offerings especially are premature for that audience, because there is some interest, but there's just not enough. Whereas the Australian European audience, I was able to fill a year-long group program really quite quickly. There was loads of fertile soil. So what I'm doing with the US audience, now that I've gone, practice what you preach, Danny, it's like that audience doesn't have enough fertile soil. So what I'm doing, instead of offering longer commitment group offerings, I will be opening up some online classes. So I've mainly been doing the online classes for my other audience, and people in the US have just had to have the recording or something like that. So I thought, hey, I'll just experiment a bit more. I'll open up some more sessions. I ran one last week and there were like 5 or 6 people on a call. We had a really nice little community discussion. So it was really good. So yeah, I hope there are some ideas in there that you can play with. I guess the key points I'm making here are set the times that are times that work for you. I mean, there was a point I was just going to scratch the US audience, because I'm like, really, it's kind of not going to work for me or them. And in some areas of the US, it just won't work, probably even now, with my last session being, you know, maybe a little bit too early for some parts of the US. And then the other thing is, you know, when you've got different countries, you might have different qualities of fertile soil. One might be, you know, really flourishing and you can just pop offers in there and it's all good. And the other one, you know, it's just not cultivated yet. So just some things to think about. So I hope that helps, Emma, and anyone else who was interested in that. This is Danielle Gardner. Thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you again soon.